I'm not really working for money, and I don't have an interest in working for money. I am working towards doing what I want when I want.
Money buys you comfort, and money buys you the ability to do what you love, and that brings me happiness.
You kind of have to fail a little bit, which is so scary when it comes to money. Hello. Welcome to another Never Ending Shit Show podcast. I am Jeana, and this is Maddie.
Oh, I thought you were going to give me a
This
a
is
moment. Madison. Thank you.
Okay, now I just switched back to Madison.
All right.
Can't believe a thing this woman says.
Every week you can call me something different.
So today we are going to talk about something we love to hate, love to love, money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I think there's no better way to start the podcast than introduce our new family members.
Yes, we recently both went to the store and purchased money trees, and we've named them very cute names. I feel like they're very suitable. Here's mine. This is another reason you should be watching the YouTube videos. This is Benji. Benji, short for Benjamin. He is hopefully going to manifest me tons of Benjamin bills, and he's been great so far. And Jeana?
Yes. So this is 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz because 2 Chainz, the rapper, owns restaurants, businesses, he even has a marketing agency. Man, that guy makes money out of nothing. So I want this tree to manifest the same thing for me. I want money coming out of thin air, and honestly, it's been working. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, how long has it been? It's only been a couple days, but I feel like my money trees brought me in a couple bills I wasn't expecting. Yeah,
Really?
for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's the tree. Maybe it's just.
I mean, I'm thinking it is because as soon as I got the money tree, I went to this meeting for a bank for the restaurant because we're kind of looking at switching over banks because we want more options, and we're thinking if we go with a bigger bank, we might get those. And I started kind of having this conversation with the bank, and it went the way I thought it was going to go, where she was like, well, in order for us to give you any lending, really, you need to be with us for a year. And I'm like, okay, all right. She's like, but we have a new business startup credit card, and if you qualify, you could get a lot of money for it. I'm like, sure, let me just let's just throw my hat in the ring. Worst case, I don't really get that much, and I can just have the account for a year, and then I'll be there when I need it. And went through the whole process, and it turns out that our new business qualified for $20,000 interest-free for the first year. So literally a year of saving money, and that's all going to go to making the restaurant a better place. So
I love it.
Thank you, 2 Chainz.
That's crazy. Right after you bought the money tree?
Literally.
Wow.
The meeting, the money tree was purchased, took it home, gave it a little smoochie, and then I was off to my meeting and came back just more money.
I love that. I feel like we're developing our relationship,
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna get there, and I'm so excited. But you know what? I started driving my car, and I've been happier, and I'm going to the gym more consistently. Money is gonna come. It's inevitable,
Yeah. And money is money doesn't make you happier, but when you get money and you're happy, it feels so much better.
Oh, I don't think that money buys you happiness, but I think money buys you comfort, and money buys you the ability to do what you love, and that brings me happiness.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. And I feel like there are just so many different ways to look at money and different ways to think about money, and people have different relationships with money, and they change as they grow up. So can you kind of remember what your relationship with money was as a child? Did you know about it when you're teenage to young adult years? Were you thinking about it, or was it just this random thing you needed to live?
No, I think I grew up in a really well-off area, and my parents were, they both made pretty good money, and I was lucky enough to be taught about money and finances at a young age. And so I've had a Roth IRA since I was I don't even know, 7. If I wasn't actually putting money into it, I was my dad was saving it, whatever. But I was taught the importance of money and the importance of saving, and we would have chores and we would get paid, but we had to save a percentage and, put it away. I just something I would definitely want to instill in my children if I ever have any, because that's just so powerful. But my relationship with money, because of my dad, I think from a young age, I've always been really frugal with money. I've been hesitant to spend it. But at the same time, a little bit like I learned early on, like when I was 18, how to like flip cars and make money. And so it's taken me a while to have like a responsible relationship with money, but I definitely feel like I started in a good spot and I've done my like fair share of learning.
Yeah, kind of like you have a leg up on a lot of the other like kids, for lack of better words, coming out of high school. You were already thinking about money and like had your head in the game.
But at the same time, I packed up and moved away with a couple $1,000s in my pocket. Like
that is very true.
But because of that, I learned how the importance of money and like taking care of yourself, because I was so prideful. I didn't want to ever ask anyone for anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if I'm going to move away, I need to be able to support myself. And so like I knew from a young age, like how to make money. I got a job serving where I learned about tips and not working for minimum wage. So I don't know.
Well, and financial independence and just like your personal independence are different things, because you can be an independent person and not have financial independence. And financial independence is the know-how to manage your money and be independent of needing source of income from somebody else.
I think it's almost like if you're truly, truly independent, I feel like they're one and the same.
Yeah.
Because for me, I would never, if I couldn't handle my finances or take care of myself financially, I would never be independent. But also, I mean, being financially independent or literate doesn't necessarily mean you have a ton of money. It just means you're smart. I lived in LA in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment with 5 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the only way as an 18, 19-year-old me could afford to live there. It was like still $500, $600 a month.
Yeah. See, I just see it slightly different, because when I was younger, where your parents were like giving you chores and like some kind of I don't even know the word you use for it.
Well, Roth IRA.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like
she's like, what is that?
And so clearly money was a conversation. When I was younger, money was, we're poor, don't ask for it. We don't have money. If it's cheap, we could maybe get it. And we didn't talk about it. You know, when I talked about going to an expensive college, it was like, no. And so my entire childhood, I was just like reverse taught money. I was like, you don't have it. You just hope not to spend it, and we go to Goodwill a lot. I just knew that we didn't have a lot of money. We had food stamps when I was younger, so I would have like food stamp birthdays where I'd go pick out whatever I wanted, and I just thought it was this magical like poor people money.
I mean, that's
which it is.
Magical poor people money.
And so, but my parents really didn't teach me anything about money. They just shunned me from it, and the thought process was we don't have it. And so then I jumped so aggressively into the working world.
Sorry, pause.
You're good. I jumped so aggressively into the working world that I went from what my parents called me, you know, being in foster care and all this stuff, poor, no money, to working 40 hours a week, head down, and not having a social life or spending any money. So I got government subsidies for my rent living. So I went from poor, quote, what I thought was poor, which now isn't really that poor, to okay, I had more money than I would ever need because I never left the room to spend it. So I never actually learned how to use it. I always had more than I needed. I always had money. The bills just got paid. I never budgeted. I never thought about it. I was super independent. I never asked my parents for help. I never asked anyone for help. There was just money in the bank. Yeah. I knew just enough to put things on auto pay, and that was it. And I didn't need to worry about it. I got to focus on my craft, but it created this really weird relationship with money I have now, because there was just never a relationship with money.
So how do you feel like your relationship with money evolved? Like, where are you at now? Because I know you personally, and so I'm like, it's not like you've evolved into this like financial guru, literate like woman. Like you're still like very like And even with money in the bank, like you're still like, I'm stressed about money, because I feel like if you're not on top of it and you're not actually tracking all your finances and doing your bookkeeping, you know, like really, really, truly staying on top of it and being organized, it feels chaotic all the time. I mean, you just want to avoid it.
Yes. I like so much is that, like, yes, that nails it right on the head, because now that I'm older and I'm making way bigger purchases and I bought a house and I've done all these things, like, I'm needing to focus on money more and understand it. I'm not a kid now. I don't have just money in the bank. And money just makes me uncomfortable. I feel like I don't trust myself. I feel like I haven't spent as long as I'd wanted to put the time in to learn about it. And I've always like wanted like a financial advisor, and I've always wanted to like talk it out. I've just never felt overly comfortable in my ability to like not overspend, not underspend, to do a budget, because like the way, especially now in my life, money is coming so fast and leaving so fast. And I think it comes in a blink of an eye, and I'm like, what did I learn? I don't know.
Nothing. Actually, we didn't talk about this previously, but this would be so cool to add in here. I have a friend, one of my like only person I talked to from high school. She is married to this man who has a degree in I'm forgetting it. What is the word?
Financial advisor?
Not financial.
Accountant?
It's like
brokers?
The statistics. Is that what it is? Like stats or statistics? Yeah. So
sounds like a smart person question.
So they
statistics is a thing. I know that.
Hey, tomato, potatoes. I don't know what, whatever gets the job done. So basically, I'm gonna butcher this. I'm so sorry. Long story short, they have a way of tracking their spending and their money and their income and everything. They have like an Excel sheet, budget plan thing that like accounts for all the money in their bank account. And the way he basically explained it, probably way better than I'm going to explain it, but was like, so if they get a check, just say their paycheck is $3,000, all that money is already accounted for based off of like what categories they made, and those categories are based off what they spent last year. So they'll budget like, okay, we're going to put $100 towards electronics this month, every month. And then when we need it, we'll see how much money is in the account. Like, it's so cool. And I love it. And I wish I could listen.
That's giving me anxiety. You can tell we have different relationships with money. I'm like,
no, but we're the same. And I'll tell you why, because even though I can look at it and hear that and be like, that's so cool. It's so interesting to me. It's so organized. I want to be organized like that. It just doesn't work for people like us. It does not work for people like this, because the way I make money is so up and down, like roller coaster, that like I'll have one amazing month and then like the next month I make like nothing. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, but theirs is like the same every single month. So they have like the same budget every single month, and that's why it works for them. And for us, it's like, I have to spend $4,000 on these paper, like, I have to buy all these papers,
or I can't make money,
Yeah.
And I mean, we definitely have this thing where if you looked at all the money I made last year, I mean, I made $300 from this random sticker thing. I made $1,000 from these knives. I did these aprons that made me $200. I worked a random bar job for 3 months. That made me this much. I did this for 3 months. I did 6 pop-ups that didn't have any. Oh my God. I mean, it's like I'm just not at that point where I was before, where it was just one thing. Oh, Airbnb. I got the streams of revenue. I'm like,
it's great, but
except for it's like
stressful.
And because it's not like big streams of revenue. It's like $100 here, $200 there. It's so sad.
I just got an email that was like, here's your 1099 for something, and I'm like, really? I have to file taxes for that? I made like $80.
Anything under $600, you don't. You can send that shit right back to them.
No, it was
if it was probably like $650.
Remember the job I did driving cars through the auction? I don't even think I made $600. I worked 1 day a week for 4 hours.
If you made less than $600, you don't have to claim it.
I think I probably made like
$650. $800. Jesus, that sucks.
but yeah, no, I am the same way. Like, I make a little bit of money in so many places, like YouTube and Amazon and this, and I'm just like, my tax guy's probably like, I hate you, but also like, this is so easy because you didn't make that much money.
Well, but now tax is a whole nother thing, because even though I made a lot of money, I spent a lot of money, so I technically didn't make a lot of money, but that's not good. So I can eat it and not take as many write-offs, so that way it looks like I made more money, so I can get more loans.
Yeah.
Or I can just like not pay that money. It's so fucking difficult.
Okay, actually, good point. This is kind of off tangent, but the actual worst part of working for yourself is I can write all this stuff off, and that's amazing, and that's this loophole, but then you don't ever qualify for anything, because on paper I make $17,000, which is true. Like, after all my write-offs and everything that
it's true. That's the money you spent.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like, I need to go get a credit card, and they're like, okay, give us your last 3 years of tax returns, and I'm like, I'm trying to apply for like $10,000 to $15,000 credit card, and they're like, girl, no. Like,
yeah, I'm about to do my my taxes, and I'm basically in the situation where it's like, okay, I could do it this way and get food stamps, or I could do it this way and get a loan. Like it's like depends on how I do it.
Yeah, I totally.
But I do think that when we're talking big money, big plans, it is better to be able to get those loans, to be able to get those investments. It's just we're cuspy.
We're cuspy. It's like we don't have enough money to be paying taxes on that much income. We do, but like not really.
Yeah.
Because it all gets spent. Like
it's tough.
It's really hard. I hate tax season. I hate sales tax season in California every year.
Come
like
on,
July.
Money Tree. Get us through this season.
My God. July hit me like a truck.
I know. It's me and you, 2 Chains.
But I was going to say something else about, what were we just talking about? Taxes. We're talking about
Well, okay. I mean, we can loop back, and if you remember, do you think you overall have a healthy relationship with money?
I remember.
Oh,
I was gonna say, me and Jeana just made our vision boards, and
yes.
but basically, if you don't know what a vision board is, it's where you clip together whatever you want. You can just print off pictures off the internet or do magazine clippings.
So I just want to say it is a form of art.
It is a form of art, especially if you do it like Jeana, because hers was like, what do you call it? Like it was like
collaging.
It was like a total collage. Like she cut everything out and like
Mosh podged,
layered it. I was like, this is cool. Like mine doesn't look like that, but basically it's like manifesting. So you make this board that you're going to look at every single day, and the purpose of it is like you are looking at it, so it's going into your subconscious, which means like if it's in your subconscious, it's a higher chance of it happening and manifesting to real life. And so you put things on the board that you want to happen for yourself in the next year. And one of the things that I put on my board was a credit card. Just I saw a picture of a credit card and I cut it out. And I really, really want to be better with money and my credit and credit cards, and like use credit cards how they're supposed to be used, because I'm the type of person that's like, with my business, I will spend thousands of dollars at a time. Like I think.
And then do you pay it all off, or you just slowly pay it off?
I don't use a credit card. That's the problem. I'm so dumb. Like there was like a couple months in 2021 where I spent like $15,000 to $20,000 in 1 month, no credit card. And I know someone out there listening to this is going to be like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I know. But like, that's me avoiding learning about credit cards because of my anxiety and that fear that I'm going to do something wrong and be in debt. I'd rather just be like, here you go. It's paid off.
And they're tricky because I accidentally did what you're probably scared of, and I basically remodeled my house on a credit card. So that was $10,000. And then I did all my traveling on another credit card. And then it got away from me, and I owed about $18,000 on credit cards. And it was like so overwhelming. I was like, thought I was going to throw up every single day. It was like a weight on my back. But then as soon as I paid them all off, and finally, like, they're not even completely paid off. I think I owe like $3,500 in total. But as soon as I got it down, it feels so good to know I could spend that if I needed to. My credit limit went up. My credit scores rocketed. My ability to get credit cards are through the roof. And if I need to spend that money on the restaurant, I could. So it just feels like, even though
it's
I know
a safety net,
but it just feels good to have it.
Yeah, and I'm envious of that, because I feel like that's something I've never really allowed myself to do, was like spend that much money in order to build up my credit. But something on my Credit Karma, it says like the reason I have a lower credit score than I could is because of my credit. What is it, like your credit lines? My credit lines, like I don't have enough open credit lines. So I was like, okay, so my goal will be to open like a bit more credit cards, use them, slowly.
Such a smart goal.
And that's what I did. I got an Amazon credit card. I got a Mattress Firm credit card, or I guess it's Synchrony.
So random. Those credit cards are so random.
Okay, no, because actually it's not a mattress. I guess it is a Mattress Firm, but it's with Synchrony. If you know Synchrony. Yeah. So like they.
It just looks so much different than my wallet.
I don't carry them around. But yeah, no, like I got it because I wanted the mattress, and it was like, it's like $84 a month to finance a $5,000 mattress, and it's the best sleep of my life.
Girl, you gotta get the airline miles. Thy life has changed.
I know, but it's interest free for 5 years. That's why.
Okay.
Oh, I only do interest free because I don't. Otherwise, if it's not interest free, it's got to be like small payments I make, like, every month.
Yeah, also, but your credit line isn't gonna go up that high from those.
Okay, anyway, the point is I have a lot to learn about credit cards. And so my relationship with money now is very like, it's still, I feel like at this point in my life, I should be way more, like, I should be way further along in my relationship with money, but I'm not. And it's one of those things that I have a bit of shame around. I'm like, oh, money, I'm not good with it. Oh, I'm not good at saving. I'm almost 30. I should have more in my savings account.
Not almost 30. Plenty of time.
27. I should have more in my Roth IRA. We can put in, like, I think $6,000 a year untaxed in our Roth IRA. So when we're whatever age, I think 60, when
you can pull it out
tax free.
Damn.
So, like, but if we were doing that since we were 18, we would literally, I think my dad did the math. It was like we'd have over $1 million in savings just from putting in $6,000 a year. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But then, you know, then I think about stocks and high yield, high yield savings or high yield interest stocks, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm so ill-educated, but I want to learn.
But you're learning one thing at a time. You bought a house last year. How much do you learn about that? So much.
It's almost been 2 years.
Oh my fucking God. So that means it's been 3 years for me. That's insane. So, I mean, you can only learn these things one thing at a time. I don't have a clue what you're talking about with the Roth, blah, blah, blah. But I know about credit cards, right? Like, we only can learn one skill at a time. So
yes, but the problem with money is, like, it needs to be a priority because it compounds. It makes you money over time. So if we learn it when we're 40, we're not going to have as much money as if we learn it today.
Girl,
that stresses me out.
You're going to keep Yeah, but you're going to learn things every year.
Only if I make time to learn them.
And I think that's the thing about money that I've been learning that's made my relationship healthy is it's just like everything. You kind of have to fail a little bit, which is so scary when it comes to money. But you kind of have to fail a little bit to get better. You kind of have to feel the edge of like, oh my God, I've overdrafted 3 times this month. Like, that obviously doesn't work. And you know the feeling of that, but that makes you better. And then you kind of have to feel of like, okay, maybe that is, you have to feel out your lines. At least for me, that's how I learned, because someone could talk at me all the time and say, get this credit card with the airline miles and do this and da-da-da. And I'll listen to it and be overwhelmed, but I won't really truly learn and comprehend what I need to until I just get out there and try things. And it does sound scary because it's your money and your livelihood. But we're still young. We have lots of time to get rich, you know?
My dad hates when I say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think that's like, I don't know. It's hard because, again, going back to like having a more traditional source of income, a lot of employers will like do a 401k and they'll match your income and or you know what I mean? They'll like, there's benefits or incentives to saving money, and you know how much money you're going to make. So you're like, you know how much money you can save. And for us, it's like,
we got to get our own insurance plans. Like, no 401ks here.
Yeah, like, but that's what makes it even harder being a business owner. It's like you really have to take the time to learn everything about running a business, about being an adult, about saving money and being responsible. Like, everything. Not to say like you don't have to learn those things if you're not an entrepreneur, but like I feel like it feels so much heavier. It feels like there's so much to learn and you're constantly like not doing enough. That's how I feel. I
mean, completely. Look at both of us. Like, we don't have a 9 to 5. We could go several days without working like what a traditional job is. So where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
We have to literally like make it appear. Nobody's just like signing us off paychecks. But at the same time, we have to supplement that. That's why I bartend at night, just because it gives me that money cushion. Because the funny thing is about bartending, which is why I hate it, but I understand why people get so addicted to it, is I can be like, oh crap, I overdrafted everything. I'm a mess. Credit cards are going up. And then I can have 2 good nights at the bar and be like, back on top, baby.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I definitely worked that industry for a long time. I think that is the industry that made me realize I want to work for myself, because I always want to be in a position where I can make more money than like a set number. I think that's the problem with the 9 to 5 is like, okay, here, come to work. We're going to pay you $20 an hour. It's like, there's no incentive for me to work harder. I'm just going to go there and do my job. And I don't like that mentality. I want to go make $15 an hour as a bartender and then make however much money on top of that, being nice and talking to people. And you know what I mean? I want the opportunity to make more and more money.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a build-up, because I look at my dad who did it the traditional way. Like your dad went to college, got one job, and has worked with one company off and on for 26 years. And now he's making almost 150 a year. I'd be fine with that, but like that's a different way of that's a different mindset, you know what I mean?
Sorry, Benji's getting in my way. Come here, baby. All right. No, but I look at my dad too, and I'm like, I just don't. I look at his life, and to me, this is where I'm at now with money. It's like, sure, I could be making a ton of money, putting in my 40 years, and then retiring and live comfortably like my dad. I don't want to do that. I would rather, I like the way we live our life. I like being like, hey, we have $300 to our name. Let's take a trip, live our life, come back, hate our lives, work our ass off. Like, not a lot of people can live like that. But for me, it's like, that's the thrill of it. It's like, even when you don't deserve it, if that's what you need to do, like money comes, money goes. That's my money mantra. And to me, living life and having those experiences and truly enjoying what life is supposed to be about is so much more important than having a ton of money in the bank.
Yeah.
But then I think about things like getting sick or hospital bills.
Good thing we have dads with good jobs.
No, I oh my God. I recently got an ambulance bill. Or not an ambulance, a fire.
It's a fireman bill.
It's a fire. I got the sexy. It's basically like I hired like
sexy
firemen came to my house. And they charged me.
Woo!
No, but yeah. So apparently that's a thing now. They charge for like if the fire department has to come out and like do whatever, then even if you think you're dying, you have to pay. And that medical bill is $500. So it's like, imagine if just them coming to the house and not doing anything for me cost $500, imagine if they came to the house and then they had to put out a small fire and I had to go in an ambulance and then I had to go to the hospital and they had to do x-rays. I would have like a $30,000 bill.
Yeah.
That scares me. But I just also choose not to think about those things.
Yeah. That's why she doesn't do anything super crazy. This girl ain't going skiing or anything.
No.
I mean, but that stuff comes and goes. Like I have to go to my house in Spokane and I want to drive back because I want to grab some equipment and some last things I left at my house. And the cheapest rental car I can get that's not even the big one I want. It's a mid-size SUV, $600. Thank God I have airline miles, so at least my way there got paid for. You know what I mean? Like, and on top of that, like I'm gonna have to eat while I'm up there and drink because it's freezing cold.
Priorities.
So, but what I do love about what you said is like the way that we make money and the way that we spend money. We really feel life, I feel like, in every aspect because we work so hard and so intimately to make it. And we spend it just as like passionately.
Yeah.
So I think that it makes us like feel the good and bad of life so much more intently because you do look at those people with like 9-to-5 jobs that get a little dull. That are living just kind of like, you know, and I don't want to say boring because it might be exciting to them, but just mundane lives. And you and I we feel with each pore of our body the feeling of not having money one week and being on top of the world because we sold a couple shirts, you know, like we feel those and they're just all special in their own way. And I think that they make us really unique. And I think that's what makes a great entrepreneur is, you know, accepting those feelings.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's an industry for a lot of people because a lot of people would see the no routine or the no money and be like, oh my gosh, I have to figure it out. Like, I can't do that. How do I do that? And then that would intimidate them. But for us, it's like, all right, well,
do you ever get people looking at you and looking at your life and being like, oh, you're so lucky. Like you just get to like kind of work and do things. People say that to me sometimes. I'm like, oh, bro, you should see my bank account. You should see how stressful this is.
It's not a life for the week. Okay.
So, you know, and then luck has nothing to do with it. Like every single penny we get, we have to work for, and every single penny we make, we fucking spend. And
not proud of that last part. But.
Well, okay, that's a good segue. So you're having a good money month, good money year. Benji's kicking it into high gear. How do you like to spend?
How do I like to spend? Okay, 2 ways. One, I like manic spending on things I don't need but are cheap. I don't know. Does that make sense? Like,
yes, I said this to her when we were talking about making money. if there was one thing that she wanted and it was $100 and she really wanted it, but it was $100 and it wasn't on sale and it was brand new, she'd be like, I don't know. Let me think about it. But then if there were 100 things for sale for $1, she would buy all of them. Oh, yeah. Even if she didn't want them.
The Target $5 section.
So she'll spend $100 on 100 things for $1 that she doesn't necessarily need but kind of wants. But then if there's something she really wants that's $100 and on sale, she won't buy it, if that makes sense. It's this crazy thing that she does.
I feel called out. Well, yeah, because it's like I like spreading my money wide, you know, like I don't know where I guess I learned that, but it's like for me, like if you go to the store and you see a jacket you really like and it's $100, first of all, I've never spent $100 on a jacket. Maybe I have when I was younger, but like, I would much rather go to the Goodwill, and the Goodwill's still expensive, by the way. But I'd much rather.
You might as well go to Crossroads with those prices.
Yeah, no, I know, and I do. I go to this like one like clothing trading place, and like they have a bunch of like lightly used clothes that people trade in. You can bring clothes, and they'll give you money, whatever. But I'd rather go in there and get like 6-7 slightly used jackets that are cute than one jacket. I just feel like that. Like for me, I'm so cheap like that, and works for me.
Well, yeah, but the thing is like you call yourself cheap, but I don't ever feel like you're still gonna spend $100. You just want like to leave feeling you're gonna spend the money. You just want to leave feeling like
I got my money's worth. Yeah. But then there's the other thing I like to spend my money on, which you can probably relate to too, is the experiences. Like I definitely am much more like money savvy when it comes to planning experiences, because I'm like, same thing. I would rather spend 8 to 10 hours of my life planning one thing and finding the best possible deal so we can do 2 or 3 things on this trip, versus like, oh, cool, first thing I saw is this. It costs $500. Let's do it. I'm like, I'd rather do 3 things for $500.
I love traveling with you. She will look at hotels for like a week. And she'll compare prices on like probably 10 different websites. I just imagine her just like on her phone, in the shower, eating breakfast, on her way to work, just everywhere, just like waiting until she sees that price that makes sense. And then she'll be like, all right, let's look at plane tickets. like she goes in such a weird order too. But that's what I like about you. You're like, look, I have X amount of dollars to do this trip. I want to do it. And even if we have to stay in hostels or whatever, like I'm gonna find the best value for our money and we're gonna go do this trip.
But I'm not, like you said, value. I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, this hostel's $12 a night, we can each pay that and live in this little bathroom dungeon thing. You know what I mean? I'm not into that. I'm still very like, I want the quality, I want the experience, I want something that's in the middle of the city. I don't want to be on the outskirts. You know, I consider all the factors and then I make like a decision. So
it's art what she does.
Thank you.
It's art, because I'm just like, you want it cheap or nice? Do you want it close to where we're going or not? Like I just like,
she's like, do you like roaches or is that okay? Like,
yeah, but I think that's why we are great travelers together, because I feel like I am the most easygoing person to travel with. Like if I'm going with a group that are like, we're all spending $600 a night, I'll be like, shit, all right. And then if I'm going as a group that's like, we're gonna stay in huts, I'm like, all right, bring my bug repellent, you know. So I feel like that's what makes us good travelers together. But that is such a good way to spend your money, because it's like you're not just like buying a thing, you're like living your life with the money that your life took to make, you know.
But also the, like, for me at least, like the whole planning portion of it is like half the experience, you know. Like I get to plan it and enjoy it and get excited about it, and then like count down the days, and then we go, and then I'm excited about it for the next 2 weeks, and like every part of that for me is fun and enjoyable. So for me, like, yeah, fuck yeah, I love spending my money on experiences. Even if you and me were both just like, hey, we need roller coasters in our life, we'll plan like a small little turnaround trip to Six Flags.
I always need roller coasters in my life. Are you down or not down? Are you getting down?
I think I'm getting down.
Because like 2 months ago, this bitch wouldn't have done it. So we're getting there. That's healing. You're healing. Woo!
Definitely bringing a Xanax.
She's healing. Thank you, Benji. She's healing. I'm so happy, because my favorite thing in the world is roller coasters.
You know that it has nothing to do with money, though. It has everything to do with mental health.
I know, but I'm just saying we're putting the pieces in place. You're healing. You're doing better. I'm proud of you. We're gonna ride roller coasters. All right. Sorry.
Money. Okay, so I have a question for you. What is your like money mantra, or like what's your perspective on money if you had to choose like?
Well, I mean, I actually kind of thought about this. Money mantra. I don't have one quite the same like as you do, but I did write something down. It's yeah, my relationship with money is weird, but basically, I'm not really working for money, and I don't have an interest in working for money. I am working towards doing what I want when I want. So I am working towards freedom. I am working towards like goals and passion. I am not working for money. Money's a tool. Money gets me what I need. But that's not what I'm working for.
But that's not the end all be all. Being stacked up, rich, having so much money that you don't even know what to spend it on. No.
I would give a lot of my money to charity.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love that too. But like, yeah, I get what you're saying. For me, I'm like, I want comfortability. I want to be able to have the experiences when I want to have them. If you're stressed out, it's like, no, you literally. Sorry, I got really excited. We were coming back from Cabo, and we were on different flights, and this girl that I sat next to, she was like, oh, did you just travel to Cabo? I'm like, yeah, did you? She's like, yeah, I just went for the day. And I sat there and was like, what do you mean you just went for the day? It's only like 6 p.m. Like the day is not even over.
That's awesome.
I think she literally like stayed the night though. But anyway, she like literally left her kids and her husband at home, traveled to Cabo, had a night, had a dinner, had drinks on the beach, and flew back home. I'm like, if that's not the epitome of what I want my money to do, like, I don't need a huge extravagant vacation. I don't need to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. It's just like, I need a getaway. The flight's going to cost me $100. The hotel's going to cost me $200. The dinner and food's going to cost me $100. And then I'm going to come right back home. $400. Like, or even...
Yeah, you're not going to be getting like diamonds and jewelry and like all this like more tangible stuff. You're going to go and see the ocean and get away and have a nice dinner and... get back to grind.
I love that. I just was like,
that's pretty cool. I do like that.
I like that. I like you, woman.
Yeah, because I feel like
also, I told her about the podcast. So if you're listening, I love you.
Shout out.
You're my idol.
Shout out Airplane Conversations. That'd be a good podcast.
Airplane Conversations. We just travel the world and interview people.
Every time we travel, we just sit next to people and talk. Hey, do you want to be on a podcast?
That'd be so cool.
See, everything is a money idea. I'm like, how do we monetize it?
What if we got on a plane and we sat next to someone horrible?
We sit on the side and they have to sit in the middle.
And yes, but what if they're
no horrible person's gonna sit between us?
You don't know that.
I mean, that would be good content.
What if they don't want to be on the podcast and we're just stuck separated?
We'll have big mics next to us. They'll know what's up.
Well, some flights you have like designated seats. You're just thinking of Southwest.
I'm just thinking of Southwest.
All right. Well, just Southwest.
That's all.
Southwest can sponsor us.
That's all I fly is Southwest. But yeah, I mean, basically, I've worked jobs that are just for money. Like I took an office job, basically general managing cloud kitchens. And that job was just because,
I remember that.
Yeah. And I took that job just because if I worked that way, I could, it had a big salary. It had the 401k stuff. And it was if I stayed in it, it would make me a lot of money because it was like a ground up. Google was investing. And boy, did it make me unhappy. It just made me so unhappy. And anytime I started making adjustments in my life because it was just like, I just wanted a bigger paycheck, it never, ever made me happy. And so I kind of wrote this down too. It's kind of weird, but I'll do just about anything for money. Like if you're like, here, eat this for $1, I'll be like, fucking, I'll do it. Or sell, or work 18 hours to sell 6 shirts. All right, I'll do it. Yeah. Like I'll do just about anything for money. But if there's something I don't want to do, no amount of money will make me do it.
I get that. My neighbor, he's like a stay-at-home dad. The wife works.
The one with the falling down fence.
Oh yes, that one. I'm just. So he started making, what do I call it? What do they call Vietnamese coffee? And he's like, I just want to go to the street corner. Cause in my area where I live, like a lot of people like will bring food, vend like tamales or tacos, whatever. And like, he's like, I want to go to the street corner in the morning and sell Vietnamese coffee. And I tried his coffee and I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. Like, it's so good. And it would only be iced coffee. That way it's just like easy to go. Like,
Dude,
you just drive up.
Vietnamese coffee makes me shit.
It's a lot of
brains
whipping cream.
out.
But it's good.
It's so good.
But it's so good. It tastes so good.
It's like rocket fuel.
Yeah. But like, imagine you just pull up, you're on your way to work, you just pull up, grab a $2 cup of coffee and you're on your way. And like, his wife was like, why would you do that? You're going to work, all morning just for a couple bucks. Like, why would you do that? And he was just like so passionate about it. And I'm like, I'm the same way. Like,
yes.
It doesn't matter how much money I'm making. If it's mine and I'm doing it and I love coffee and I like connecting with people and I get to make people's day, it doesn't matter if I made $40. Like, that's cool. Okay. Yeah. It took 4 hours of my time. I made $40. Like, but it's mine and I'm proud of it.
Yeah. And I would rather do that 100 times out of 10 than make $1,000 doing something I hate.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I'd much rather sit on the side of the corner and sell coffee than go into a 9 to 5 every single day. Like, I can't even imagine me doing that. I can't. Maybe like a work from home 9 to 5, but like, I can't imagine me going into an office and being like, I'm here.
Do you imagine me? I'd be the one making inappropriate jokes next to the water.
Yeah, I feel like I do imagine you like in a workplace setting because of like you wake up early and you have like a little bit more of a routine. But like, yeah, you'd be like that really like crude coworker that just says things that are like sexual and you'd probably get fired. And
HR would be a nightmare.
They would know you by your first and middle name.
Be like, Jeana Marie to HR, please.
You're like, why are you surprised? But yeah, so I guess overall, this podcast did feel like a little random, but like we just talked about our relationship with money and how like even though both of us have experienced moments of I don't want to say like extreme income, but you know what I mean, like where we've made a lot of money and didn't know what to do with it, and then we're at a point where it's like we don't have a lot of money, we're investing a lot of money, we're trying to make a lot of money, we're hustling. It's like our relationship with money just kind of like ebbs and flows, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. And yeah, I think that's like a pretty normal thing for people who are starting businesses or like small entrepreneurs, especially if you're not successful right away. It can get really like discouraging not having money, but you know, the art of side hustles, the art of working jobs to pay for the things that you really want to do. And if you work a 9 to 5 right now and you are looking to start your own business, definitely like don't quit your job. Save up a bunch of money, figure out a game plan, a business plan, a financial plan, what you need, and then maybe work your way to doing a side job that you know will make you some money, and then
like wean off it.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like wean off the 9 to 5 and then work a side hustle and then work the job you really, want to work.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And don't be afraid of responsible failures. Mm-hmm. Don't drive your family's money into the ground because you've got a problem with spending, but make sure that you are risking small times because that's how you learn.
Also, if you inherited a bunch of money or like, you know what I mean? Some people like just inherit money or...
I won a game show.
Yeah.
$20,000.
I feel like if you ever like come into that kind of money, you should get smart with it right away.
I did not.
Maybe 20. I'm not thinking like 20,000. I'm thinking more like I have a friend who inherited like a couple million, and like for me, in my perspective, if I inherited a couple million, the first thing I would do is hire a financial advisor and get me set up for like, how is my money going to always make me money?
What? The first thing you should do is buy your best friend a house next to yours. Bitch, what the fuck? Your fucking priorities are all messed up. Me and 2 Chainz want to come over by you and Benji, all right? And if you inherited $1 million, 2 Chainz ain't putting in enough work for me.
Listen, you got a point, to be honest. But my next door neighbor is selling his house, so hopefully.
And so is mine.
Maybe Benji. Wait. Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I might want one of the houses like down the street. That's really nice.
But this one has a whole acre.
Okay.
Anyway,
I think
that's it.
Oh,
what?
We should talk about our Ness of the week.
Oh, you go first.
I'm not ready.
Okay, hold on. We can edit this shorter or not. Let me think.
Ness of the week. What did I do this week? What day is it? Wednesday. What did we do this weekend? Oh, we hung out. We danced.
we had a good week. I had a really good week. So
yeah, I feel like it wasn't too messy. My house has been messy for like 4 weeks and I can't clean it. I don't know if that work counts.
I would say that my ness of the week, which actually turned into a good thing, was that I have a kind of crazy schedule right now where things are like, I've got things scheduled in like February, June, April, like all over the place. And this awesome charity called CASA reached out to me and asked if I would be one of their keynote speakers for an event. And I looked at my calendar and they were like, okay, it's going to be on March 25th. And I was like, perfect. Sign me up. I'm down. Like, let's do this. Let's meet. And I was so excited that I was telling you about it. Like the next day, I'm like, oh, I signed up to do this charity speech. I'm so excited. And you looked at me and you're like, are you high? And I was just like, do you not want me to do the charity speech?
And she's like, I'm so excited and tell me all about it. I look at her. I'm like, are you high? Like,
because the day of the charity speech is actually when Beyond Wonderland is happening. And I had this internal dilemma because I so want to go to Beyond Wonderland.
If you guys don't know what Beyond Wonderland is, it's a rave in Southern California.
Yeah. And it's part of like, I'm just so excited to go. Like, I think it would be so fun. Like, and so my heart's kind of set on it. But like, charity work's so important to me. And also like professionalism's huge to me. So the fact that I told her I would do it, even though it was just a day ago. So I was in this intense turmoil. Like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And then finally I just like texted her and said, hey, you know what? I'm so sorry. I didn't look at my calendar. I have something else planned that day. Like, can I help you find somebody else? Can we still meet? Can I help donate something? And she was like, why don't you come into the office anyway? Like, no worries. And she decided that would be best if we just did a video anyway, so I could still be the keynote speaker, do a video. It'll work out. I'll go to Beyond Wonderland. So although it's like a never-ending shit show because I'm like a mess and I don't always check my calendar, like being honest and just going with your heart sometimes is the best thing because now I get to do both.
Yeah, and it's not like, I mean, it's hard because like we were like, okay, we need to plan one more thing so we have something to look forward to. That was us like choosing to spend our money on something that's going to bring us happiness. And it was like 2 days, 24th, 25th. Mm-hmm. And then like the fact that she's like forgot all about it and planned something else. And I'm like, girl, like we can totally not go. It's totally fine.
I know. And she's just a good sport about it. She's like, it's fine. And I'm like, ooh.
Well, no, but at the end of the day, it's like you're sacrificing something you know is going to better your mental health, you know? So like, it's not that important, of course. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know.
But we're going, I think.
Yeah, we're going. We're going.
Okay.
But like, we don't have tickets yet, but we're going.
Anyway, that was my nest moment and probably hers too.
My week is just one long day. My house being messy for a week is really my nest moment.
All right.
I look at it. I'm like, how is it?
Girl, just avoid it for like 3 more days and then it'll get to the point where you have to do it.
Oh, no, it's already there.
Anyway, well, thanks for tuning in. Drop a comment about how you like to manage your money and if you guys have any questions.
Or how you don't like to manage your money.
Yeah.
Your issues with money. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
I don't know. Do we even look at the comments on these yet?
There's no comments. Nobody leaves us comments.
You can't comment on Spotify. But anyway, yeah, message us.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.